Welcome back to Fourth and Troll Fantasy, the most entertaining fantasy football podcast on the planet. I'm Wes Selby.
And I'm Noah Selby.
And we are here ready to talk about a very interesting Thursday night football. And as some of you may recall, Noah and I made a little bit of a wager for the show intro, which we're going to dive into a little bit here. Noah decided that because I said don't start Tom Brady for last night's game, Noah said, you know what? I believe Brady's going to throw 350 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Hey.
And I said, I mean, yeah, you got 320 something
25 yards and 2 touchdowns short, baby. Am I right? Come on.
Yeah. Woo. So because that didn't happen, he said I could intro the show and you hear the results. Speaking of that game, hey, first 3-game losing streak for Tom Brady since 2003. A lot is going on. Most importantly, Noah, how are you doing?
You know what? I'm all right. I'm somehow we squeezed 17.1 fantasy points out of Brady last night. Somehow. And luckily my opponent had some players, particularly a defense, underperform. So went ahead and, still a tight race for the week after Thursday night football. I'm doing okay though.
Okay.
Definitely things we can move on to and from. We'll talk about it a little later. Wes, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. I took my shot with Gus Edwards. I said thought it was a risky start. I was going to try to fire him up, and he left the game in the fourth quarter with an injury. We'll talk about that in a second here in the news segment, but I was a little surprised to see he even managed to pull 6.5 points in the league that I was in. So Kenyon Drake, though, had a little bit of a surprising outing, despite I feel like every time we say don't start, they go off, or the opposite. When we say fire them up, they're a lock. They just disappear. I don't know what it is. We did pretty well for last night, but I mean, I don't know. Kenyon Drake, Fluker for real.
We're just fans of keeping everybody on their toes. We're fans of mystery. We're fans of theater. All right. So,
yeah, we are.
Yeah. So here we are. That's you know what? Thursday night football's in the books. We're wild cards here. We're just listen to us if you want to. If you don't.
Bunch of hooligans.
Whatever. Who knows? Let's move on here, huh? What do you say? Let's go on. We got a great week 8 coming up here.
Yeah.
And we got another great show on this beautiful Friday, October 28th. 28. That's a little bilingual action for you there. 2022. We're going to talk about last night's performances, break down some quarterback play. What should we do? Where should we go? We're going to do a little bit of garage sale, a little bit of callback there from week 1. Gonna, community garage sale. Everyone's buying, selling, and somebody's got a free pile. So, you know what? Whatever. Everybody do your thing. Find some people that you like, find some items that you like. Go for it from there. We're going to tell you who we like and who you should go for. And we'll close out the show with studs and duds. But first things first, Wes, what do we need to know before we go into week 8 in bulk? Is Russell Wilson still doing high knees?
He may be literally at any time you're listening to this. He may be doing high knees right now.
Yeah. Someone should check on Sierra to just make sure he doesn't do high knees.
Oh my goodness.
Like at the vanity counter or in their bedroom or bathroom or as he's brushing his teeth or something.
Yeah. Sierra's like, Russ, how many high knees are you going to do? Unlimited. All right, let's get into the news. All right, last night we saw some very notable players on the Ravens offense exit with injuries. Mark Andrews left with a shoulder injury. Rashad Bateman exited with a foot injury, and Gus Edwards went down with a hamstring issue after a nice 22-yard gain in the fourth quarter. As of now, they're all considered minor injuries. Gus Edwards may have a little bit more than a minor injury, but nothing that's concrete as of now. And we will have to wait for some further tests to indicate if any of them will miss any time. Well, there was a big blockbuster trade on Thursday morning. Blockbuster, depending on how much you know about this player. We talked about him back in, I think, before the season even. Kadarius Toney was traded to the Kansas City Chiefs on Thursday morning. His current injury status, however, was that on Wednesday, he remained sidelined with a hamstring issue. So hopefully he will be able to rehab in time to play after their bye week. So regardless, he's not playing. Week 9 is when Kadarius Toney could step the field in Kansas City. You know, he's not going to step the field anytime soon is Jamar Chase. He will be out 4 to 6 weeks with a hip injury. This makes T. Higgins the top wide receiver in Cincinnati, along with Tyler Boyd as the number 2 option for Joe Burrow. I haven't checked lately, but I'm pretty sure by now he's available to be slotted into your IR in your roster if you have Jamar Chase. Hang tight. It's going to be a tough month and a half for a lot of you. Speaking of Russell Wilson, thank God he's going to play again. He's going to play in London against the Jaguars. This is so great. Woo! Great news, everyone. His Wolverine blood instantly healed, not just his hamstring, but hopefully cleared his vision entirely. And now he'll be able to see wide open receivers in front of his face. It's a mile-high miracle. I can't wait. Everything's coming up Millhouse here in Denver. Gee whiz. Anyway, he's starting against Jacksonville, whatever. All right. Ezekiel Elliott is dealing with a knee injury that will likely cause him to miss Sunday's game against the Bears. Zeke referred to it as a stiffness and should see action in the next game afterwards. We'll look for Tony Pollard to start. It is not completely confirmed. He could still miss practice the entire week and play on Sunday, but expect Zeke to be out. Ryan Tannehill is reportedly getting better from his injury on Sunday and is still expected to start this week, although he did not practice on Wednesday. Officially, Chargers wide receiver Mike Williams will miss a minimum of 4 weeks. And as Noah declared, he's just ready to go for the rest of the season without Mike Williams. So all you need to know is that he's not there for a month at least. Chuba Hubbard in Carolina missed Wednesday's and Thursday's practice, which head coach Steve Wilks inferred after the Bucs game could determine his status against the Sunday's match against the Falcons. Right now, it would appear that Donta Foreman is in line to be named the primary back. However, Wilks said he still plans to make it a committee. So just because Chuba is hurt does not mean he will not eat into Foreman's role in case you want to start either of them. In New Orleans, guess what? Jameis Winston is healthy. Guess what? Andy Dalton is the starter. That's that. James Conner in Arizona returned to practice, although still a limited participant, barring any setbacks. He's en route to start. So, Benjamin owners, I'm sorry. Or maybe not. I don't know. We'll see what happens when James Conner returns fully. Alan Lazard in Green Bay said he heard a, quote, snap, crackle, and pop in his shoulder when he was tackled against the Commanders. Although it's not considered long-term, he is expected to miss at least Sunday's game. And last but not least, rattling off a couple of missed practices and do not practices for some of these players. Jahan Dotson missed practice on Thursday. Ron Rivera said he will likely miss Sunday. Both Darrell Henderson and Devontae Adams missed their practices on Wednesday just with an illness, but Devontae Adams missed Wednesday's and Thursday's practice as well. Raiders said that they're optimistic he's still going to play, but just something to keep in mind. Michael Thomas and Jarvis Landry did not practice Wednesday or Thursday, and Deebo Samuel missed back-to-back practices with his hamstring injury. Hey, that's it. That's all the news we got going into week 8. Let's talk about Thursday night. Ravens at Bucs. Noah, how do you feel after your must-start, risky start, and don't start?
Yeah, I feel okay. And before we dive too deep into performances, I'd like to make a formal statement if that's okay with you.
Yeah, buddy, that's okay.
Okay.
What's going on?
I'd like to address the Fourth and Trollers.
Okay.
I'd like to formally apologize to said Fourth and Trollers that rode with me on the Brady train coming into the season. I saw a season where Tom just torched the whole league, and I could not have been farther from the truth the reality that we're watching unfold in front of our eyes. In my nearly 25 years of life, I've had my heart broken many times, but this one might be the worst. It hits deep. After a Thursday night performance where we squeezed the life out of Tom for 17.1 fantasy points, and I was yelling at my television, "Put it in the end zone, Tom. Put the ball in the end zone." It's with great sadness that I advise that you should officially begin to pivot to another option at quarterback. Explore your trades, check your waiver wire, move on. It's over. And with all love and hopefulness, I love you all. Best of luck, and see you in the championship.
Jeez, Noah, that was so emotional. Oh.
This sucks, man. This sucks. Let's talk about it Thursday
I appreciate you coming forward and just look. I believed it too. You were extra hot on him, but what we saw last year, he had over 5,000 yards. No one saw this. No one saw this.
Nobody saw it. This is tough. This is tough. Let's jump into risky starts, must starts, and don't starts. Wes, we both kind of hit on our must starts here. Mike Evans with 18.3, Chris Godwin with 13.5. Both of them still saw 11 targets. Exactly what we said. Brady can be not good, and these guys will still do well for your lineup. So we hope you plugged them in. They did well. But again, volume is massive here. 11 targets each. Really, really solid starts for your week 8 if you had these guys in your lineup.
I do feel very proud of us for nailing this specifically. Like, the quarterback would not be that great, but the receivers will. And then being able to explain PPR and volume. And this is how it works. You don't need a great quarterback to have a good receiver in your fantasy team.
100%. Yeah. Risky starts. Gus Edwards, we talked about it a little bit. He ran the ball super efficiently. He ran really well. 11 carries for 65 yards. 6.5 fantasy points, but he went out with the injury. We've heard it's, hopefully not major. And so we're hoping that he'll be able to still be really solid. I think he can bounce back and still will be. But 6.5 points, bit of a bummer if you had him in your lineup, but all in all, it's encouraging to see him run well, but just a little bit of a bummer for the fantasy side of things here. I can't remember if I was on the side of which side of this risky start I was on with Lamar Jackson. I should have gone back and looked at it.
I'm trying to remember.
I think I said, if you have Lamar, you got to start him because the big playability.
I remember
21.8 fantasy points. It wasn't even like big playability. He just played a solid game. He played a really solid game.
He played a really good game. You were tempering expectations. That's what you were saying.
Yeah. It's the Bucs defense have been playing well against quarterbacks. Lamar had not been playing well as a quarterback for your fantasy team. So Lamar Jackson owners, I have, shout out to my friend Josh here, our league mate, Josh. He's a Lamar Jackson owner, texted me during the game and said, finally a decent game from Lamar. And I said, patience is key, baby. We're good. He's, he hasn't lost it. Just give you a solid 21.82 points. 9 carries from a quarterback is always insane. So
what's interesting is that Joe Burrow is projected 21 points in fantasy, and like Lamar Jackson is usually projected more because of his rushing ability. Rushing touchdowns count as more, but like that's a good quarterback stat. And I think maybe there's just going to be some more quarterback related performances from Lamar Jackson because everybody's trying to stop that rush.
100%.
So I'm pleased. I'm pleased with it.
Yeah, no, definitely. We'll jump to our don't starts here real quick. Wes, your don't start was Brady. Like I said, we squeezed the life out of him in garbage time for a little touchdown. Nearly got it. If he had thrown the 2-point conversion, and that would have been complete, nearly a 20-point game, but
could have helped.
17.1.
Mike Williams was a right foot away from getting a touchdown in the back of the end zone as well. And I forget who the other receiver was, maybe a tight end, caught a touchdown, and then there was holding on the play. And so they called it back. So this could have actually been about a 353 touchdown game had those plays gone differently, which is very funny.
It could have been, yeah. Here's the thing that 17.1 fantasy points. Listen, I'm just, like I said, it's time to pivot. I'm pivoting here. I'm going to look around for maybe some trade offers I can field, or see if I can send somebody out here, or maybe just look to the waiver wire and just maybe stream. Who knows? Streaming quarterbacks is terrifying, but may have to here. Here's the thing: 325 yards and a touchdown. It doesn't sound terrible, but if you watch the game, he just doesn't look the same. He doesn't look good. Even his completions to, Mike Evans over the middle for a first down on it was like a 15, 18 yard play, something like that. Even that, Evans wasn't being led on the play. Evans had to stop for it on just like a crossing route, and Godwin, same thing on a couple plays. And, it just, Tom doesn't look the same. And it's these are always the famous last words, because then Tom comes out and is like, oh yeah, you want to say that, whatever. And we know Tom's listening to Fourth and Troll right now. So, but these are always everyone, year after year, it's always been, and I'm not saying he's washed. It's just he just doesn't look the same. And so, I mean, balls are high, balls are low, balls are behind receivers, balls are, I'm more inclined to think that, guys like Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, who have played with him for a few years now, they're not struggling with chemistry and being on the same page. Certainly could be on a couple of plays, but it doesn't seem like it's a receiver thing mostly. It's just I don't know if Tom is timid, scared, doesn't want to risk throwing a pick, doesn't, whatever. I don't know. But it's just, he doesn't look the same, and it's tough. And, we got through 8 weeks, Tom, and, I don't know. We'll see what happens.
You bring up a solid point. Just to remind everybody that 325 yards is a high number, and that's great. I think a lot of quarterbacks would like to walk away from a game with that, but in fantasy, that's not going to cut it. And just watching the game, you can see that this is more than just having over 300 yards. This is the inaccuracy and the ball placement, just as you're saying. So this is a much worse stat than it may read for those of you that see, 17 points. That's not too bad. No, it's not good.
It's 17. You're right. It's not too bad, but it should be higher. It should be in a different place. So just a lot of feelings right now. And
you're doing great, Noah.
Thanks, dude. Appreciate it. Kenny Drake, someone that I said, hey, shouldn't he be on your roster? It seemed like there was a bit of a carousel here, and maybe while Gus just really kind of ran away with it last week and he was performing very, very well, I think they were just trying to get moving there. Justice Hill saw a good amount of work too, and looked good as well. So Kenny Drake, 16.7 fantasy points. 4.5 of those points came on 4 catches for 5 yards. One of them he scored a touchdown on. So it's just
4 catches for 5 yards. Is awesome.
10 yards of this is his, or 10 points of these 16.7 is off of 5 yards worth of receiving work. Somehow he turned that into, 10 points, 10.5 points. But no, I mean, we talked about it on the broadcast. The Ravens have play one game over the next 23 days or something like that, or maybe 21 something. They played this game, and then they've got a bye week next week, and then they play somebody on Monday night or something along those lines. They've got a long time. Should be a long time for Gus Edwards to be able to find his way back to the starting role. So, if you took a shot on Kenny and Drake because you had to, he paid off for you tonight, and that's exciting for you. Good job.
I think you and I agree, Noah. We still really like Gus Edwards. Cool for Kenyon Drake, but Gus Edwards, I think we both feel is the better back. And when he returns after this bye week, this is going to be not entirely his backfield, but I do expect to see some strong runs, especially against a worse rush defense in the future.
Yeah, definitely. A few more guys here who just made an impact. Some people may have been on our team. Some people may not have. Devin Duvernay, 16.4 points. Took a little jet sweep around the edge. Went ahead and got in the end zone. Good for him. I know one person who.
Good for him.
I'm not sure if he started Duvernay this week, but if he did, good job. If you didn't, oops. Oh, well. Isaiah Likely came in, filled in for Mark Andrews. This is intriguing. This guy looks good.
Yeah, it is.
This guy looks good. He passes the eye test. I don't know what opportunities he gets. We know that Rashad Bateman isn't doing much receiving, so maybe they just line Likely up out wide. I don't know.
Yeah, if it weren't good. Mark Andrews, I would be inclined to say go pick him up.
Yeah, especially if things don't sound serious for Mark Andrews.
Right. However, this is a head-turning performance. You have to give credit to where this is. I mean, 7 targets for a tight end is no joke. That's a lot for a tight end. And the not go ahead touchdown, but essentially the game-winning touchdown, the final score for the Ravens that gave them the full lead was too Likely. And it was a great play by Lamar Jackson, and Isaiah Likely ran a great route. It wasn't like he was just wide open. It was a nothing. It was
improvised. Yeah.
Yeah. This is a good player, and he had some great work in the preseason. I made a note of it too, but it was that kind of asterisk, like, hey, he's really good. He's behind Mark Andrews. So I don't know if I'm even going to think about him again. Well, here he is. And I like it. I likely. Am I right, dude?
Wow.
Hello?
Yeah.
Noah?
So Demarcus Robinson, am I right? So Demarcus Robinson, 12.4 points, 8 targets. This is what we're maybe hoping to see from Rashad Bateman. As far as the targets go, doesn't go that way. Rashad Bateman tweaked his injury in his foot again. It's tough. Not sure really what to make of this. I don't think you need to run to the waiver wire for Demarcus Robinson, but solid game and worth, keeping that in mind. Another guy here, Julio Jones, saved his fantasy day with that garbage time touchdown. Decent, kind of moving around after the catch and almost like kind of flipped his way into the end zone, got clipped, whatever. Saved a lot of people's fantasy days for Brady. If you, for some reason, you were like, Julio's active, I got to get him in the lineup. If for some reason that was you, 10.1, fine, sure. But nothing I'm not running the lineup for. And then Leonard Fournette, 14.8 points. Man, second game in a row with single digit carries. We're going to, I'll save it. When we're going to talk about it a little later in garage sale. Is that cool?
That's cool. I'll just read out the stat line for those that may not know. 9 carries, 24 yards, 1 rushing touchdown on the first drive of the game, which looked like it was going to be a good performance from him, but then kind of fell short. That was it. That 24 yards on the whole night. That's terrible. And then 3 targets, 3 catches, 34 yards, ended up with just shy of 15 points. Oh, I want to talk about him too, but I'm going to wait for you, Noah, because I know you got a little special segment for old Lenny.
A little bit. Yeah, a little bit. We'll talk about it in just a little bit here. But let's move on from that because, Thursday nights, never fun to talk about. So
forget about it.
Yeah, let's move on here. Let's do a little bit of garage sale, community garage sale. Ooh, what do they have? Ooh, that looks interesting. Ooh, that's flashy. Let's go take a look. Who knows? Listen, let's talk about some buys, some sells, some waiver ads here, just people that, we want to give a little more attention to. Maybe you should go acquire these people. Maybe you should send them away. Whatever you want to do.
Garage sale, baby.
Leisurely peruse the community garage sale. Who knows? Starting out with that though, Wes, it's, you walk into the driveway, a nice house here.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Who are you, nice. Who are you buying here from the garage sale, Wes? Who are you buying?
I am interested in buying Jerry Jeudy. I was torn between Jeudy and Kareem Hunt for the same reason. They're on the trade block.
Sure.
Like Jerry Jeudy wants out of Denver. And the Broncos front office is answering calls by several teams. There are reports that they are answering that phone and they are inquiring about what they can get for Jerry Jeudy. This is a real thing. Now, the reason I didn't choose Kareem Hunt as my garage sale buy is because I've already tried. And people want too much still. I've gone in 3 different leagues. They don't want to give him up yet. So that's one reason. Running backs are either dropping like flies or their first and second rounders are stalling. So it's just too risky for some to let go of someone as good as Hunt. Plus, even if Kareem Hunt goes to another team, which they actually announced that they're willing to sell him for a 4th round pick, which I think is a pretty good deal. But I was trying to think, like, what NFL teams actually need a running back? When I think through it, there's not a ton that are desperate for a running back. Plus, he could end up in another running back committee, which doesn't really make an improvement if you get Kareem Hunt. Here's the thing. Jerry Jeudy can fit practically anywhere. And almost every team in the NFL will want a better, younger, explosive wide receiver to fill their slots on the outside or on the inside. He's still really good. He's just been on a bad team. I've even heard that the Miami Dolphins have made the call. And if you're telling me that the team that has Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle are still calling about Jerry Jeudy, Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle are both top 4 in receiving yards. These teams believe in Jerry Jeudy, and I think that in the next few days, he could end up going to another team. And you don't have to give up very much because everybody and their mom has given up on the Denver offense. So I say take a shot, go get Jeudy. If you're scared about just getting Jeudy, go get a package, try to get him for cheap, and there's a likelihood he ends up on another team. And whatever team that is, it's a better offense than the Denver Broncos. So that's my pitch. Go take a look at Jerry Jeudy, see what you can get him for.
Okay.
What do you think?
Right. Yeah, no, I like it. I mean, it's definitely, I've definitely added players that have maybe been dropped that are trade candidates. I'm holding on to players that may be trade candidates. And so I like where you're going from here, Wes. I like it. I get it. It makes sense.
Yeah. It's just, in the possibility that he's traded, he's going to pan out better than where he is now. And if he's not, you didn't give up too much. So with that being said, Noah, who are you perusing to purchase in the garage sale?
Yeah. I walk up, I go, oh, what's on this table? Oh, Saquon Barkley's there. What's that? Oh, no, that should not be that much money. Okay.
This is a lot of money. Worn, you say. Okay.
Oh, okay. Oh, Travis Kelce. Oh, that's expensive. Oh, I don't know about that one.
Uh-huh.
Oh, what's this? Oh, it's a little tattered and beaten up. It looks like it's been through a lot. What is this?
It, Noah?
Oh, it's Raheem Mostert. Oh, what a great price on this as well. And oh man, it's been getting a lot of use lately. Yeah. Listen, I'm buying Raheem Mostert. All right.
That's great.
I'm buying Raheem Mostert. He's completely taken over. Listen, we all in pre-draft season follow the money. The free agency opened and Chase Edmonds was the Dolphin right away. It was the first announcement they made. Chase Edmonds was, here we go. Oh, it's Chase Edmonds. He's going to be great. And then, listen, Raheem Mostert has been awesome and healthy and healthier than I think any of us thought he would be. I think we all have a little bit of worry with Raheem Mostert. He's completely taken over. The Dolphins' backfield is his. He is the guy. He's averaging 19 opportunities over the last 4 weeks. And his opportunities is those carries plus targets there. He is involved in this offense, in this high-powered passing offense that is, like you just said, Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, top 4 in receiving yards. His passing offense, he is heavily involved. Offense has Tua back, is getting rolling. We saw it on Sunday Night Football against the Steelers. This offense shouldn't slow down. And over the next 4 weeks, Mostert faces Detroit, Chicago, Cleveland, and Houston. Over his next 4 games. Incredible 4-game stretch as we are here in week 8. if you are needing to make a push here, get some wins to get yourself into a playoff position in fantasy, I think you need to go buy Raheem Mostert. He is in a great situation right now to be able to do a lot of good things for your team. He's flying down the field. Buckle up. He's the man. Go buy him. Trade for him. Get a good deal for him. He's not a big name, so that's the thing. He can give you that bigger name value here and that bigger name production here. And the owners, the Raheem Mostert owner in your league, I guarantee you they have probably 3 running backs of higher name value at least on their team. So they're maybe not considering, hey, maybe they need a upgraded wide receiver 3 or an upgraded flex spot, and they don't want a Mostert there. Go buy Mostert. It's a great pick. Great buy. Do it.
I think that if you're listening to this podcast, you know how good Mostert is. But I have not seen Mostert start in any of the leagues that I'm in. I don't have him in any leagues. But I have gone through and people aren't starting Mostert. I think they just don't realize that he's succeeding in a way that he is the potential to win games. It's not going to be like 25-point performances, but the 19 opportunities on average over the last 4 weeks. Is that what you said?
Averaging 19 opportunities over the last 4 weeks. Yep.
Yeah. That's delicious, especially if you're someone with Leonard Fournette and you've got 9 carries. You see this game like last night. It's like, thank goodness you got the touchdown, but like, this is a solid fantasy football back. Like you said, I know the Dolphins have a fantastic passing game. He caught a passing touchdown against the Steelers, so he's part of this mix. This is a great one. He's probably less expensive than people may think about. I think this is a great option.
Yeah, 100%. I agree, Wes. It's time for you to roll out the poster board sign.
Yeah.
The trifold science fair board. It's garage sale time, baby. Who's on sale?
Garage sale this way. You're walking down. You may be thinking, "Wow, I can't believe you're getting rid of this guy." This is
that Christopher Walken?
Wow, I can't believe it.
Wow,
you're gonna sell Cortland Sutton. Wow. But actually, okay. Cortland Sutton is my sell. Wow. It might be a little late now after 2 very bad games, but I think we're all seeing this. My guy is hitting the wall. He has exhausted his potential in the first few weeks of this season, and he is squeezing every drop out of Russell Wilson's hollow performance. Over the last 2 weeks, Cortland Sutton has had 0 red zone opportunities and has declined from an average of 29% of the targets to a sudden 16% of the last 2 games. Sutton has a 58.6% catch rate. You know who has a better catch rate than Cortland Sutton?
Me.
Chase Edmonds.
Oh.
Chase Edmonds leads the NFL in most drops. Fun fact for you. So here's another interesting aspect of that statistic. Cortland Sutton apparently only has a drop rate of 1.7% of the time. So how does a guy who has 58.6% catch rate only have a 1.7% drop rate? I think you know where I'm going. It's because of Russell Wilson, who throws a bad football 20.8% of the time. I don't have to get into Russ. You already know. You've been there. You've been watching it. But I think you understand why I think it's worth buying Jerry Jeudy and selling Cortland Sutton. Because in a couple of days, Jerry Jeudy may not have Russell Wilson as his quarterback. And there goes his potential, just way skyrocketing. I love it. I think there's an opportunity there for Jeudy. But Cortland Sutton is not getting traded. He's not on the trade block. And the sad reality is, especially for one of my guys, that ship has sailed. And I honestly don't want to have any player that's in Denver. So I'm selling Cortland Sutton while I can. I'm sorry to say it.
Wow. What an episode we're having here. You know what? We're really growing up here on this episode here, Wes.
Yeah. We put on
I
our
like
big
it.
boy pants.
Yeah.
Stop
It's tough.
dreaming.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. It's yeah. It's this Denver offense has not lived up to where we thought it would be. And it is insane to say this. The only Denver Broncos fantasy football player I am considering having on my team is Greg Dulcich. And that's it.
Honestly, yes.
Greg Dulcich is getting so many. He's getting great amount of targets. He's getting great targets there. Yeah, no, it's been I'm proud of us. We're doing the hard stuff.
Yeah, we are. And this is what Fourth and Troll is also about, trying to help people let go. Let go of Cortland Sutton.
Yeah.
Let go of Tom Brady. And Noah, who else should we let go of in this sale?
Yeah, you know what? I like to lead by example here. So my sell is somebody that I actually traded away this week. I traded away Leonard Fournette this week, and I'm selling Leonard Fournette. The offense is a mess, and Rachaad White continues to get a really good amount of work. And Leonard Fournette, back-to-back games now with single-digit carries. Within a great first drive, I figured this was going to be a Lenny game. And I was because we were preparing for this episode, Wes, and I had said I'm going to sell Leonard Fournette at the garage sale. And watching this first drive of this Thursday Night Football game, I was like, well, dang, I'm going to have to work hard to convince people to sell him. And then it was like, oh, wait, no, this is like still just so out of whack. Their best, most successful offensive drive was when they ran the football the most and set up more openings up over the field and stuff like that for the pass. And then they just stopped running it. It's like the opposite of Cliff Kingsbury. It's like, hey, we're going to run and then we're going to pass once running is working, and then we're not going to be an effective offense. Cliff Kingsbury, on the other hand, is like, hey, we're going to pass until we realize that we can run the ball, but we're down 20, and then we're going to try and run it, but it's too late. So I'm stupid. Anyways, Leonard Fournette, I think you just need to try and sell. Reach out to maybe the Breece Hall owner in your league. See if, he made 14.6 is a fine fantasy output. He didn't dud, so it's not like you're going to be trying to sell on a dud. You could still get value here. I traded Leonard Fournette. I sent him in a big haul and a big package. So I can't tell you exactly what you'd get just for him, but it's probably worth just selling it. He had in Thursday Night Football this week, he matched his lowest receiving output of the year. Rachaad White is just getting more work. We were afraid that when Todd Bowles said some of these younger guys maybe need to get more opportunities, that we were thinking, surely Leonard Fournette isn't who you're like giving him less playing time isn't going to be the change you're trying to make here to win more games. Right. And it looks like it is. And so still in playoff Lenny, it's sad because I was really high on him coming into the year, but yeah, we're selling Fournette. Selling Fournette.
And Noah and I were talking right before we recorded this. And honestly, it was like, wow, that touchdown makes Leonard Fournette a very sellable player. Yeah. We see the trend, but that touchdown got him still in the market for having valuable returns. So I think it's true. I think Mike Evans, maybe Chris Godwin too, are probably the only two that you can hold on to with some kind of confidence, unless you want to make some kind of big trade. But even then, I don't know. It's tough. I think everybody kind of recognizes that the Bucs offense is not what it was last year or the year before. So, wow, We should change the title to the most somber Fourth and Troll episode that
saddest
has ever
episode
happened.
of Fourth and Troll fantasy ever. Yeah.
Thanks for joining us this morning. If you started out your day with this,
Yeah.
I hope it's a real mood tone setter here. This is awesome.
Yeah. All right. So we've bought, we've sold.
A blast.
We've bought and we've sold, Wes. Now, tell me when you're walking by the free pile at the garage sale, just the stuff they're trying to get rid of here, or the $1 pile. Who's that waiver ad there? Who's that player that you're looking at and going, oh, sure, yeah.
I'm sifting through the bins. I'm looking for some nice vinyl records. I like vinyls. Find a nice old LP. Find something there, and then all of a sudden, I start seeing some real NFL football players in this bin too, and I think, well, that's kind of fun. I'm looking through, and you know what? I land my finger on one of them. In case Derrick Henry gets hurt, grab Dontrell Hilliard. I haven't read anything. Okay. He's not hurt. He's not injured. I'm not trying to wish for this to happen. If Derrick Henry gets hurt, Dontrell Hilliard is the backup. That's all I'm saying. Okay. He's actually pretty darn tootin' good with the ball. Last year, he played 5 games to fill in for Derrick Henry when he went out with Donta Foreman. And Dontrell Hilliard averaged 6.3 yards per carry. And he had an average of 70 yards per game. He finished 5 games with 350 yards and 2 touchdowns. Plus, he had 26 targets and 19 catches and had an additional 2 receiving touchdowns, which we know he's already done a little bit of this year. So far this season, he hasn't carried the ball a lot, understandably, it's Derrick Henry, but he has 132 receiving yards and 3 touchdowns. And that's the top 20 most receiving yards by running back this season. He's a backup. So, look, if you're looking to grab a handcuff, you see the way things are going with running backs. People getting hurt. People getting traded. Things are a little shaky in the running back position. If Derrick Henry, if he gets hurt, Dontrell Hilliard is a good option. That's all I'm saying. I
like it. You're just checking out the bins. Dontrell Hilliard.
Yeah.
Why not? Yeah, we watched him last year. He did fairly well last year when Derrick Henry was hurt. Splitting time with Foreman. I like it. He's involved in the passing game. It's a good pickup.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's
a nice snag.
Turn out to be worth more than I got it for in the end. There it is. That's a nice way of tying the allegory, the allusion to garage sale. Noah, you're passing through. You're trying to get one last thing for fun on the way out of this garage sale. Who are you going to try to pick up off the waiver here?
Yeah, I'm just it's just a gut call on this, to be completely honest, but it's James Cook.
Okay.
It's James Cook. Zach Moss was a healthy scratch against Kansas City. James Cook was operating as the number 2 back in Buffalo. And even the number 2 back on the best offense in the league can be successful. And they spent draft capital on the guy. Seems like there could be a bit of a turning of the tide here. They went on a bye week. Going to be paying attention this week to see what happens with James Cook. But I feel like you could jump the gun here and maybe add him now. I feel like he's going to get a little more involved, and he could be a decent flex option. Who knows? But I think James Cook. Truly don't have any numbers here, just a gut call. But I'm gonna grab James Cook.
I think we ought to have a gut call at some point. I think we look at some players, we watch them, but they don't get the stats. We see how players talk about someone, or we just sometimes have no reason. Might as well. James Cook was actually your risky start in the first Thursday night of the
Week
game.
1. Yeah.
And although he fumbled on his first carry, he's still been part of that offense. They did not abandon him because of that. They rotate him in occasionally because he's not the starter, but you never know. I'm not going to throw that out the window. Why not? You're just passing through. You're looking at a $1 bin option. James Cook is great. He's brother of Dalvin Cook. They got good genes over there.
Best jeans. Levi's, Wranglers. Best
Levi's.
Ones. Best ones.
Comfortable Giants.
Nice. Good one. That's going to do it for Garage Sale, though. That's fun. It's enjoyable.
That's fun. I like playing that. That was entertaining.
It was a good time. Wes, why don't we go ahead here and just jump into closing out the show here with studs and duds. It's a fan favorite. Wes, who's your stud for week? Where are we at? Week 8. Week 8. Wow. Yeah. Who's your stud for week 8, Wes?
All right, I want you all to buckle up. I'm going to turn the camera because I'm going to be just reading off the greatest stats you never did hear in your life. Sam Ellinger is my stud. You hear me?
Yeah.
Check this out. All right, so I went back and checked out how his preseason was this year. He played 11 drives in total for preseason, all right? He played one quarter against the Bills. 2 scoring drives. All right. Not bad. 3 drives total. Against the Lions, played 2 quarters, had 5 drives, 3 scoring drives there. All right. Including a 50-yard passing touchdown to Desmond Patton. We go over to the third and final preseason game against the Bucs. 1 quarter there he played. 3 drives, 2 scoring drives. Okay. Let me give you these stats here. All right. He played 11 drives in preseason. I said, I checked. I did the maths. The Colts average 11 drives a game. So here's what he pulled off with 11 drives in preseason: 24 for 29, 289 yards, 4 touchdowns, 6 rushes for 71 yards, and a rushing touchdown. Bruh, you kidding me? Look at this dude. He finished with 40.66 points in 11 drives. That's a full game. That's a full game for the Colts. You hear me? That's 40 points. Sam Ellinger. Bro, you want to know what he did in college? I'll tell you. Thanks for asking. 46 games in total. 11,436 yards. Boom. 94 touchdowns for the University of Texas. Boom.
Hook 'em.
Kidding me? 94. Remember that 45-yard rushing touchdown? I sure do. It was awesome. Let's take a look at his rushing stats for University of Texas. 1,903 rushing yards and 33 touchdowns in 46 games. Forget about it. Oh, I won't, because it's Sam Hellbringer Ellinger. Dude, check this out. You know how many passing yards Trevor Lawrence had in college? 10,098. That's less than Sam, the man, Ellinger. Okay. You want to know how many touchdowns Trevor Lawrence had in college? 90. Yeah, not 94, 90. Forget about it. You want to know how many passing yards Zach Wilson had? 7,000 in garbage. Forget about it. Only threw 56 touchdowns. Sam, God's gift to earth, Ellinger, 94 touchdowns. Okay. Justin Field, 5,700 yards. Embarrassing. Get out of here. Ridiculous. Mac Jones, I'm not even going to read them because he basically played 1 season for Alabama. Why am I bringing this up? Why am I bringing up their stats? Because they were all drafted in the same year as Sam Ellinger, okay? They were all drafted in 2020. You telling me that the first pick overall had less passing yards in total for the collegiate year and less passing touchdowns than Sam Ellinger? Sounds like someone made a mistake. Yikes. Hang on. All right. Hold on. More here. Check this out. This guy's incredible. In his best season, Trevor Lawrence only threw 2 more yards in his best season at Clemson than Sam Ellinger did in his best season in college. And in his best season, Trevor Lawrence only threw 4 more touchdowns than Sam Ellinger did in his best season. This guy is a college prodigy. Or you think I'm cherry picking stats, Noah? You think I'm cherry picking stats? Say it.
I think you're cherry picking stats.
You are dumb. Let me finish my thing. Dude, step off, bro. I'm not finished. Sam Ellinger in the University of Texas is number 2 in passing yards all time. He's number 2 in passing yards in a single season. He's number 3 in passing yards in a single game. He's number 2 in passing touchdowns of all time. Number 2 in rushing touchdowns for a quarterback of all time. 8 more rushing touchdowns than Vince Young. Yeah, that's right. And he's tied for 3rd most passing touchdowns in a game twice, because he threw 5 touchdowns in back-to-back games, the first 2 games of his last year in college. Look for him to put up at least 25 points on Sunday. Don't even tell me who they're playing, because it doesn't even matter. Sam Ellinger to the moon. Forget about it, bro. The face of the NFL is starting on Sunday. Sam Hellbringer Ellinger, dude. I'm out.
Wow. Earlier in the show, we said that we were putting on our big boy pants for this episode. And
yeah,
Wes is half naked now because
Sam Ellinger made me half naked.
Wow. Clip it. Clip that line right there. Send it to him. Wes, you know what? If Sam Ellinger, how many points did you say he was going to have?
At least 25 points.
Yeah. So if Sam Ellinger has 25 points on Sunday, I will record.
I accept. What are you going to say?
I will record the next episode naked.
Great.
Okay, perfect. Love it. Wow. I don't even know what to say there. Heard.
I can't. You have nothing to say. He's going to.
Nope, I don't.
He ain't right back. You're up.
I'm ready. I'm ready for it.
You're stud for week 8.
I'm ready for it. Yeah. All right. So my stud isn't going to get me naked here, but my stud is. Like a stud. Well, hang on. Just give it a second. Just give it a second here. My stud's Pat Freiermuth, tight end for the Pittsburgh Steelers, going up against the Eagles this week. 11.3 point projection here. Pat has taken a big leap with Kenny Pickett under center. Pickett's been throwing the ball a lot since his career began in the NFL, and this game will be no different because the Steelers are going to be down. With a stellar Eagles secondary, though, Eagles opponents have been targeting the middle of the field frequently, as that's where they've been able to move the ball most efficiently. Freiermuth is averaging 9 targets and 15.5 fantasy points per game in full games played with Kenny Pickett. I expect Freiermuth to receive double-digit targets and likely find the end zone against Philly on Sunday. I love Freiermuth this week. I've got him in a couple leagues. Big fan. Pat Freiermuth, week 8 stud. Calling it.
I have been waiting for Freiermuth to kind of get the attention that he deserves because I think he's a really good tight end. He had a couple of impressive performances last season that started to get some attraction and make a difference for Ben Roethlisberger at the end of his career there. But I remember when we were talking about, I remember looking at some of the Eagles stats and they are not good against tight ends. And this is one of the reasons that I think I said it was Dalton Schultz would be a stud. Schultz got injured that game. Doesn't matter. But, or Schultz or someone I thought was against the Eagles. But either way, Eagles are not great against the tight ends. And I know that Freiermuth can succeed against this defense. I think the Eagles have a good defense, but this is the kind of like specificity that helps us line up our starters and knowing that this is the right tight end to play. Just because, I don't know who this guy is, there's an opportunity for Freiermuth to take off. I ship it.
Patty
dude. Fry, dude.
I love it. Let's go over some duds, Wes. Who's your week 8 dud?
I think Dameon Pierce for the Texans is going to be a bit of a dud. He's been going off pretty well, having some consistent games. It's just that the Titans defense is actually the 6th best against running backs in fantasy. And I know, as I said, I know Pierce has been doing well, but the Titans have allowed less than 500 yards total in rushing and have only allowed 1 rushing touchdown all season. So they're even second in fewest rushing attempts. You want to know why? Because they're garbage in the secondary, dude. They're 26th in passing yards, 28th in passing touchdowns allowed, 29th in catch percentage even. I don't think Davis Mills is going to light it up. I don't even think like Brandon Cooks is like, a locked in starter just from this stat. But I'm just saying that because of the way the Titans defense has been playing and the way that the game script is constructed against this rush defense that's nearly top 5 against the pass defense that is literally the worst pass defense in the NFL. I just expect a low output from Dameon Pierce. He hasn't been too much of a PPR player. So for that, I'm just tempering expectations. He's going to be a bit of a dud. I think it's possible he gets, 12 points or less on Sunday.
Wow. That's sad because I love Damian Pierce.
I do too.
The math checks out. Math checks out. And the Titans, you are correct, are brutal in the secondary. So it could just be they end up passing the ball more. Maybe Pierce gets involved in the passing game, but no, it checks out. The maths are there, Wes. It's a good call.
Them's the maths, baby.
Them's the maths.
All right, let's close out this very a lot of growing pains from this episode, Noah. Let's finish it out here with your dud for week 8.
Let's do it. Yeah, I've realized I didn't even mean for this to happen, but I guess this is a positional segments here for me on this episode because garage sale for me was all about running backs and studs and duds is all about tight ends. My dud for this week is Zach Ertz, tight end for the Arizona Cardinals, going up against the Vikings on Sunday, 11.7 point projection. Ertz had a phenomenal start to the year. As I predicted he would. He was the tight end 3 through 6 weeks. But he got to tight end 3, and he's actually only ever gone over this 11.7 point mark 3 of 7 times this year. He was just super consistent. And so he got his way to that tight end 3 mark for the first 6 weeks. But he hasn't been breaking this mark the majority of his games. With Hopkins back, this offense is going through nuke, and I expect Ertz to build upon last week's poor performance with another one here. Unfortunately, I think Kyler locks in sometimes. Kyler locks in to a guy that he trusts and that he thinks can make Kyler himself look better. And that's DeAndre Hopkins. And I think that's going to continue happening this week against the Vikings. If I have Ertz, I'm actually going to bench him this week. It's not even like tempering expectations here. And I think he goes for double digits, maybe just 10 points, not 11.7. I'm actually looking elsewhere this week, maybe trying to sell Ertz. Maybe someone believes it was just a dud week, but I do believe that Ertz kind of mellows out here as far as his fantasy production goes. Zach Ertz is a week 8 dud. Book it.
I am trusting you, not because
Thanks.
I don't, I am disagreeing internally and I think that you're wrong and I'm just going to take your word for it. No, this is exactly what your prediction was from the start of the year. You thought Zach Ertz could sneak his way to tight end 3 while DeAndre Hopkins was out. And then once D-Hop came back, it was going to be the complete opposite story. And we saw that immediately in Thursday night in week 7 against the Saints. So yeah, I'm going to keep following your lead on this. And Zach Ertz has been good, but I think with, I get that Marquise Brown is going to be out for some time, but DeAndre Hopkins is a little better than Marquise Brown. So I am following your lead on this, Noah.
A little bit. Yeah. I don't know. It's just, at least I got one call right at the beginning of the year. That's an exciting thing to acknowledge. Zach Ertz called that one.
Pretty soon we'll be going over our mark our words. We're getting to the halfway point to see how we're doing. So we'll find out how many you actually got right here, Noah.
We'll see how it goes. We will see how it goes. That is going to be all the time we have for this episode. Wherever you guys are listening, we'd appreciate it if you leave the episode 5 stars and write something funny in the review. We'll give you a shout out next time. We're on social media everywhere at 4th and Troll and on Facebook at 4th and Troll Fantasy. Look out for our mascot, Teddy the Troll, and make him smile by giving us a follow and joining us next time, every Tuesday and Friday. I'm Noah Selby.
And I'm Wes Selby.
And this has been 4th and Troll Fantasy.